Superstars, we back building. And guess what? This lesson is all about the law of vibration. This is where your frequency determines your reality, right? We've talked about how energy meets energy. We've spoken about how identity meets reality. Now we're really going to be tapping into your frequency. Remember, all these three laws, they have to be conjoined. They have to meet, holistically to be able to get you where you need to be. So we're getting into the law of vibration. Hope you've got your pens and your notepads and we're ready to lock in frequency at its highest so that we're able to get the reality that our heart truly desires. Without further ado, let's get into the lesson. Now, objectives here, literally, we're going to be looking at the role of identity in manifestation, and we've spoken about that as, fundamentally, we're just going to cement it so that you understand it. And we're going to be identifying current identity patterns that you probably have. We're going to be looking at, the desired identity as well as consistency in identity shifting and then practicing embodiment techniques. That's what we're doing here when it comes on to the whole idea of vibration. Now, what is the science of vibration? I want you to understand that everything vibrates, including your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, and your energy. They all vibrate. So, what we call atoms, this is a little bit of physics. Now we're getting into chemistry, right? Atoms vibrate at frequencies. Emotions carry measurable vibrational signature. You see that emotions? Whenever you feel, sometimes you're in an atmosphere and the atmosphere feels down, you start feeling down. Because that is the frequency, that's the vibration that's happening in the atmosphere, right? So high vibration gives you expansion. Low vibration allows you to contract, so you get smaller, right? Your vibration dictates what you attract in your life more than the effort that you put out. So be mindful of your vibration. Now, fundamentally, when we talk about vibration, you know that we're referring a lot, to your emotional frequency scale. All right, so we've got low frequencies, we've got mid frequencies, and we've got high frequencies. So I want to tap into this a bit. So on the low end of the stick, you've got fear, shame, guilt. Mid frequencies are like acceptance and kind of neutrality. Then you've got high frequencies, which is your love, your joy, your gratitude, your passion. You cannot manifest abundance from a place of scarcity and lack. All right. So if you want abundance, if abundance is the goal, you ought to be you ought to be grateful that you've got abundance, right? You ought to be so joyful that abundance is flowing all over your life because remember, you already have it. So that's what vibration is all about. And we're going to tap into the emotional frequency scale here so that you begin to understand that on the lower end is where our battery feels drained. Right? We're in a low feeling and we're just down here and we no energy, no vibe, no nothing. We're not motivated or disciplined to do anything because we're at the lowest end of our vibration scale. Right? The fear, the shame, the guilt, all those things. Yeah, you being shameful of probably your circumstancing, your circumstances, feeling that, listen, I'm 50 years old, I'm 60 years old, I'm 70 years old, I'm whatever age you are. Some people will feel like they're 20 years old and they have not achieved the things that they want either, right? Me feeling 30, feeling like, okay, I'm still not there yet, even though I'm on my way, right? But are you having shame and guilt about whatever you've done? Are you operating from a place of fearfulness? Right? Now, the mid levels are apathy or gratitude and or acceptance. Right? So gratitude is halfway there. Right? But it's closer towards where you want to be, which is where you're feeling optimism, you're feeling love, you're feeling joy. Because guess what? If you already have, you're happy, you are happy. If you already have, you're going to be joyful about the great things that you now have, about the individual that you've become. You're going to be happy, right? So joy is going to be at the midst of it all, right? So operate at the higher end of the scale as best as you possibly can. Now, they normally say nobody's just always happy, happy, happy. There are people out there who are just at a place of joyfulness all the time. They've just got that optimistic or that charismatic, feeling in terms of their emotions. They've got it under control. And I think this goes way back in terms of a lot of us did not learn emotional control. We didn't learn emotional intelligence, but it's not too late. So be at the highest end, be joyful, be grateful, be optimistic, show love, spread the love around with other people. Sometimes I'm here in the UK and I'll probably go out there and on the road decide that, okay, we're going to walk from shop to shop. And you really don't find pleasant faces that you can say, hello, how are you doing? They're not joyful. And I can say the whole idea of even going Canada and being in Canada, the people there were of a different, frequency. They were so joyful. Good morning, how are you? Joyful and just at a mood of high frequency, in my opinion. So I want us to be in a place where we understand that we have to be at the higher end of the scale, not the lower end. The lower end is not going to get you where you want to be. So if it's even getting to gratitude, I'm telling you, gratitude is great. Optimism, even greater. Love, joy, even greater. Right? So be mindful of these feelings that you're triggering out of whatever situation that comes up on a day-to-day basis. In whatever situation that I am in, I will be content. Content is joy. It's joy. Can you express joy even in the sad times? Practice it. Remember, this is a skill that you can master. All right? So that's our emotional frequency scale. Now, what does low vibration really mean? Low vibration means that you're operating from a place of doubt or fear, basically. You're acting from lack, you're stressed, and your inner resistance is kind of stopping you from getting further, right? It means that you are heavy emotionally. You see that umbrella sheltering all the emotions? That's the mixture of feelings that a person who is at low vibration is having, right? Vibration isn't punishment, it's energetic alignment. So be at the higher level rather than the lower one. And one of my fundamental things about fear is to say that face every day and rise. There's no such thing as fear. Faith always, because I face every day and I rise, even if I may fall. Right? There's no lack. Because the scriptures say that my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches in glory. Cast all your burdens onto him and he will take care of you. So there is no stress. There is no lack. And joy, be joyful in whatever state that you are in. Learn how to be joyful. Right? So that's really what vibration is. And if you're on the lower end, you're going to have all these feelings here. But if you're on the higher end, of course, you're going to be operating at a higher level of gratitude, compassion. People who do a lot of music people vibrate really high, because there's something about the music that uplifts your spirit. For me, I love listening to gospel music. I love Maverick City, you know, the Tasha Cobbs, the Sinach, the Taryn Wells, right? And when I listen to that, my frequency rises because I'm in a mood of praise and worship. I'm in a mood of gratefulness, gratitude, right? So rest is also fundamental for raising your vibration, right? Your environment and upgrading it, because sometimes you do have to upgrade it. You do have to leave the one that you're in and you've got to upgrade it. You've got to do rehearsal, speaking to yourself, that future version of you, breathing, releasing the old you, taking in the new you, right? Raise vibration at its highest, because it's not just about the fact that you want to have the thoughts, but it's about the fact of having your emotions being in alignment with the thoughts, right? So the signals can, you know, catch on to the magnet, right? And it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Be intentional about the things that you desire, right? Be intentional about your actions. Line them up, right? Just like if you're gonna be playing football, you're gonna line yourself up to get that you know ball kicked into the goal, especially if you're given that free kick. Line yourself up for success. No, it's one thing to get the vibration high, but how do we maintain it? It's basically choosing the emotional baseline that we desire to have and regulating the triggers that come along. Resetting every mind every day, right? Resetting of your mind every day. Okay? And it's about staying aligned with your end result. Knowing that this is it and this is it. There is no A, no B, no C. This is it. There's no other option but to win. Consistency is the name of the game because it's more powerful than intensity. Right? So be in a place where you are at the joy, be in a place where you're at the gratitude, be in a place where you're at the love, the peace, the prosperity, the optimism, right? Be in a place where you understand that you attract what you want, right? But there is a but. It's not just about what you want. It's about who you are. So what you want is there, yeah? But you have to become who you want to be, right? This means you always magnetize in the same energetic vibration that your heart desires, right? And the cool thing about manifesting is really about, you know, it's not just about traditional goal setting where you take your pen and your paper and you write down everything that you can think of. No, this is where you consider your feelings because your feelings are fundamental towards your goals, right? This is where you practice the law of vibration, allowing you to become clear about who you are, right? This is not in terms of your identity alone, where you think, okay, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a sister, I'm a brother. Fine, you're all of that, but you're more than that, right? Your vibrational frequency is more than you being a mom or a dad or a husband or a wife. It's what's underneath that, right? So understand today, as we wrap up on this module here, the laws that govern the manifestation that you have to embody, right? Thoughts, those are your signals. Law of attraction, they send signals out to the universe. Your emotions are the magnet. They're going to be coming in even in terms of the law of assumption and your vibration, right? And of course, eventually, you will become one with the desires of your heart. So go over this lesson as many times as you desire, but stay locked into the vision. know who you are, know what you're about, and start acting like that individual. Because the sooner you start, the quicker things will follow through for you. I hope you got some value from this lesson. Be sure to lock in all the assignments that you have been given so far, because it is for your own good, so that you reflect and you uplift your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, everything, so that you can be aligned with the version of you that your heart truly desires. I'll see you in the next module.